Man, I have to think on that one a little bit. I don't know. Who's that, Bob? How did he get along? All right, everybody on the inside. Come on in, get a good seat. Let's go. Everybody on the inside. Turn that up a little, please, Amy. All right, got a black bull to start with. Something zero. Is it 2-0? 7.5, 199, 190, he bid 1, 2, 3, bid 4, bid 94, 5, 96, 96, 7, 98, 98, 9, $2, $2, $2, $2, 1, 201, 201, every one, $1, $2 a pound, Lone Star 1, Lone Star 1. Seven and a half, 88, 9, 188, 189, 188, 89, 99, 9, 88, 189, 189, $9, about 85, 86, 85, 86, 85, 86, 86, 86, 7, 187, 186, 87, 87, not a 7, not a 7, not a 7, 87, 8, 88, 88, 88, 188, 187, Lone Star 1. 35 in it. 2135. 145, $146, 145, money six, seven, $8, $8, $9, 50, 51, 2, 51, 2, 2, 2, $2, 51, 19, 19, 19, 19, 151, Marty 44, Marty 44. Marty's birthday. Your birthday? Good Lord. We'll have to sing here in a little bit. All right. Well, I hope you have a good day. 175, $176, 175. Now $6, about $7, $8, $9, 9, 80, 81, 81, 2, 3, 82, 3, 3, 3, now 3, 4, $84, 4, 5, 85, 84, now 5, 185, 85, 184, Marty 17. Registered black limousine bull. He will stay home? All right. Black registered limousine bull. $190, he bid another one, and 90, he bid 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, but about 94, $193, 4, 5, 96, 96, 96, 97, 97, 97, 97, 97, 97, 197, 196, Lone Star 1. Okay, got in last night. $155, $156, $155, $156, $97, $8, $9, $99, $60, $1, 2, $1, 2, 3, 4, $65, $6, $6, $168, $8, $8, $8, $9, $9, $70, $170, $171, $2, $3, $4, $170, $4, $5, $6, $76, $75, $67, $178, $8, $8, $9, $80, $181, $180. Show number 100. $194, $85, $85, $95, $85, $6, $87, $88, $88, $9, $90, $1, $2, $1, 2, 3, $4, $94, $95, $96, $197, $98, $99, now $2, $2, $1, till $1, till $1, till $1, till $1, till $1, $2 Lone Star 1. Got the meat in it, doesn't he? Backside, 57, 57, 57. All right, weigh the cow. It happened $1 down one, $100 down one, it my money, 1, 2, 3, 4, 104, 5, 6, 7, 108, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 116, 17, 18, 19, 119, 20, 120, 21, 120, 120, Tom 1. Seven and a half, 180, now 180, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 88, 9, 90, 91, 190, 190, Lone Star 1. Okay, open, she was tested, open. 175, 7, 177, 9, 81, 83, 85, 87, 89, 91, 93, 95, 97, 97, 197, 99, 201, 203, 205, 207, 209, 209, 11, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 219, 219, 217, show number 8, show number 8. Same deal. She is open. 144.95. 144. Money 5. 495. 145. 6. 7. 8. 8. 9. 50. 51. 51. 151. 51. 51. 150. Lone Star. Backside. Backside 25. 25. 25. 25. Wait, two of the 138, 9, 138, $9, 9, 9, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 144, 95, 5, 5, 5, 5, 144 Lone Star. Hebbenham 150 now 151 money 1 1 50 now 1 2 52 3 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 156 56 56 155 Lone Star. Sell a red one, 145 for $6. We get around, let you see her. 145, 6, 7, 147, not a 7, not a 7. 147 on the red, 47, 48, 49, 150, now 2, now 4, now 6, now 8, 158, 58, 58, 58, 58, 156, D&D 97. Hebbenham, a little straight-legged. Hebbenham 130 now 1, 31, 130 on the money, now 1, 31, 31, 31, 31, 31, 31, 130, Marty, number 8.
No, it's not. It's Karen Berry. From Charlotte. Berry, yes.
Okay, bull was tested April 24th. Coleman Vet Center. Okay, we'll have we'll have to be trick tested. Well, look there, pretty nice little black bull. Somebody need one. Okay, came at that count 4 or 5 other calves. 2,800 by the head now 29, 28, 29. On money now 3, now 1, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34, 35, 34, now 5. 3,400 by the head now 3,500, 34, now 5, 35, 30, yes sir. 34, 5, 6, 36, 35, 36, 37, 37, 36, 7, 36 and a half, 36 and a half, 36 and a half, 36 and a half, and I have a bit of 36 and a half. Sold him $3,600. Show number 100. Get him. 300. Show 300. 120 and I won. Everybody won that one. Money one. Everybody 2. 3. 20. Now 3. 4. 124. Now 5. Now 6. Now 7. Now 8. 29. 30. 131. 31. 30. 129 Lone Star. Tabenhang, 105, $106. 105, money 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 118, 119, 120, 1, 2, 3, 24, now 4, now 5, 27, 127, $7, 8, $8, 8, 9, 30, 130, 130, 129, Marty, number 44, Marty, 44. 135, $36. On the money, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 42, 3, 4, 5, 6, 147, 148, 149, 150, 151, 151. Every one, 150. Lone Star. $145 for $6. 45 now $6 on the money. $6. 45, 6, 7, 8. Okay, have the cow next on the rail there if you want her. 9, 50, 151, 2, 52, 53, 54, 154. Now 4, now 3, now 4. 153. Marty number 20. I go. Marty number 41. Marty 41. Okay, so Cal with the tag. 120, now 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, $8, 29, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 38, 39, $9, 40, 1, 2, 41, 2, 3, 44, now 4, now 4, now 5, 7, 8, 48, 9, 50, 151, 52, 53, 53, 154, 155, 156, 7, 8, 58, $60, 2, 4, 66, 8, $8, 172, 2, 4, 6, 78, 80, 2, 4, 6, 86, 186, 184, show number 22, show 22. 7 hand, 325, 327, 325, 327, 7 out of it, money, 7 out of it, 25, 27, another 25, 27, another 7 out of it, 327, another 7, another 7, 325, Troy 5, Troy 5. Sell the cow, weigh the cow, weigh the cow. And I've been checked here. Tabenham, 145, 146, 7, 147, 8, 149, 52, 54, 56, 58, $60, $2, $4, $6, but $8.70. 2, 4, 6, 78, 80, but 2, but 4, but 86, 88, 90. 2, but 4, 96, 98, now $2, 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, but 10, but 12, but 14, but 16, 216, 216, 216, 214, show number 8, show number 8. 7.5, 280, now 2.5, 280, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 90, 2.5, 95, 97.5, $3, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 3, 7.5, 7, 8, 10, 12.5, 15, but it's 79, 20, but it's 2.5, but it's 5, 327.5, 30, but it's 330, 30, 30, 327.5, D&D 23, D&D 23. Sell black cow, 150 now two, $152 two, $150 now two, money two, but it's $2 four, 52 now four, now five, but about 54 now five, but about 54 5, 155, 55, 55, 55, 154 shout number 22, shout 22. 7.5, 144 now 5, 144 now 5, money 5, bit 4 now 5, got the money 5, 6, 7, 9, 49, 51, 51, 51, 151, 151, 51, 51, 51, 3, 53, 5, 55, 7, 9, 61, now 3, now 63, 163, 161, Tom 1. Weigh the cow, 140, 495, 144, 95, 555, and 6, 7, 47, 48, 9, 52, 54, 56, 58, 58, $60, $2, $2, $9, 4, $6, $8, $70, 2, 4, 72, 4, 6, 178, 80, 2, 82, 184, 84, 82, 4, 9, 4, 9, 4, 182, show number 13. 7.5, 350, now 5, 350, now 5, money 5, 350, now 5, 555, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 360, with the money 5, but the money 70, with the 70, 5, but the money 80, with the 80, with the 80, with the 80, with the 85, with the 5, with the 5, with the 90, with the 90, with the 390, now 209, now 209, now 209, 209, 209, 209, 390, Troy 4. Sell big heifer there, big heifer, 170, now $2, 24, 170, 246, 70, 82, 4, 86, 88, 92, 4, 94, 94, 194, 6, 198, $2, 2, but about 2, 2, 4, 6, 208, 10, and 12, but about 14, 16, 18, 20, 220, 220, 220, 220, 222, 22, 4, 4, 6, but about 26, about 6, 28, 28, 228, 226, shoat number 8, shoat number 8. Old deal, down low, front right. Goes with him. 160, now 5, on the money, now 5, 70, 5, 80, 185, 90, 5, $2, 5, 205, 10, 10, 10, 205, $210, $10, 10, 15, 215, 215, 215, 215, 215, got him right there. 215, 215, 215, 215, 215, 215, $210. Simon, thank you. Simon. Sell one cab. 140 and I'm 140, keep it 1, money 1, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 52, 54, 56, 58, 158, 158, 158, 158, 158, 156, shoat number 2, shoat number 2. Oh, I got 215, now 2.5, 250, now 2.5, money 2.5, 5, 55, 7.5, $60, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 70, 270, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 80, 25, 85, 87.5, 287.5, 290, 2.5, 5, 95, 97.5, $3, $3, $297.5, D&D 23. 7.5, 140 now 2, 140 now 2, money 2, but $2, $2, $2, 140, $2, 4, 2, 4, 46, 48, 148, 50, 150, 150, 150, 148, Tom 1, 148, Tom 1. Boys, they're young from down at Brady. $2 now two. $2 on the money now two. $2 now two. $2 four. 204. 206. 208. 208. 10. 12. 12. 14. 16. 18. 220. 246. 226. 226. 28. 228. 32. 4. 34. 234. 6. 236. 36. 36. 36. 36. 36. 36. 236. 236. 234. Show number 8. Sell the bull. Sell the bull, 145, 47. 145, money, 7. 145, 47. 147, 7, 9, 51, 52, 54, 156, 156, 58, 160. Now 2, 4, 60, 4, 6, 6, 8, 168, $70, 170, 170, $2, 4, 4, 4, 76, 74, 6, 78, 78, 78, 78, 80, 82, $182, 4, 82, 4, 6, 86, 86, 86, 88, 188, 88, 88, 88, 188, 186, Simon. Over there, got him in the 150 now two, $2, money two, 4, 6, 8, 58, $60, $2, 4, second, but more, 62, 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 8, 72, 9, 4, 9, 6, 78, 78, 80, 182, 82, 4, 82, 4, 6, 86, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96, 98, 198, $2, 198, Simon. 7 and 160 now two, $2, $4, 6, $8, 72 now 4, 6, 82 now 4, 6, 88, 188, 88, 88, 90, 190 now 2, now 4, 94, 96, 98, 198, $2, $2, 202, 204, 204, 206, 208, 10, 12, 212, 12, both of you out, 212, 212, 212, 14, 214, 16, 216, 216, 216, 214, Russell, number 1. 130 now 2.5, 132 and a half, 7.5 now 40 now 2.5, 7.5, 52 and a half, 55, 7.5, $60, 160, 60, 157 and a half, 160, 57 and a half, $60, 160, 157 and a half, Tom, number 1. So while one over there's having a 250 now 5, 250 now 5, 250 now 5, 5, 255, 60, 75, 80, 285, 25, 95, 295, 95, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $290, $3, 5, 305, 305, 305, 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, 20, 320, 320, 315, Brian Hoffman. 315, Brian Hoffman, $2 now 5, on 5, 10, 15, 15, 25, 225, 35, 40, 55, 245, 55, 265, 75, 280, 280, 85, 285, 285, 285, 285, 285, 280, Brian Hoffman. 240 now 5, 245, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, $3 now 5, now 5, now $3 now 5, 305, 10, 5, 10, 15, 315, 315, 310, 15, 20, 325, 325, 325, 55, 25, 25, 30, 330, now 5, now 40, 5, 50, 350, 55, 355, 60, 360, 65, 365, 65, 370, now 5, 375, 370, Russell, number 3. Russell, 3, 110, 112, 110, on money 12, 110, 112, 110, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 20, 2, 4, 6, 126, 6, 8, 28, 28, 30, 2, 34, 136, 138, 138, 40, 142, 4, 142, 444, 94, 142, Brian Hoffman, 5, Brian Hoffman, 5, $1, now 40, now 5, 140, on the money, now 5, 50, 5, 60, 5, 70, 5, 80, 180, 5, 90, 195, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, 195, Javier, number 3. 170 now, 2.5, 170 now, 25, money 2.5, 172.5, now 2.5, 5, 7.5, 82.5, 82 and a half, 85, 87 and a half, 90, 2 and a half, 192 and a half, 195, 95, 97 and a half, 97 and a half, 197 and a half, 787 and a half, 197 and a half, 195, Tom 3, Tom 3, Tom 3. Two red ones, $3, now $5. $3 on money, now $5, $3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 340, 555, 360, 5, 370, 370, 365. Troy number 33, Troy 33. 7 and 220, now 5. 220, now 5. 220, now 5. 220, now 5. Money, 5. 225, 30, 230, 5, 235, 40. 240, 240, now 5. 240, 550, 250, 250, now 5. 255, 55, 55, 55, 60. 265, 5. Tom 65, 70, 275. 280, 280, now 5. 285, 85, 285, 85, 85. 280, Brian Hoffman. 7 and 260, now 5. 265, 75, 85, 95, now $3, now 5. 10. 3 and 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 40, 345, 55, 355, 65, 375, 75, 75, 80, 80, now 5, 85, 85, 85. 380, Troy 33, Troy 33. $2.60, now 5. 260, now 5. Money, 575, 80. 280, 280, 275, 80, 80, 280, 280, 280, 280, 280, 275, Brian Hoffman. 7 here, $3, now 5. $3, now 5. $3, now 5. $3, now 5. High 5, money, 5. $3, now 5. $3, now 5. 5, 10, $10, $10, 15, 315, 320, 320. 25, 325, 325, 325, 325, 325, 30, 330, 30, 30, 30, 33, 33, 30, 325, Brian Hoffman. Hold it, Jody. Hold it. Okay, Red Bull over there, 115, now 2.5. On money, 2.5, 150, 2.5, 7.5, $60, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, 75, 7.5, 80, 180, 180, 2.5, 2.5, 85, 85, 85, 2.5, $85, 85, 185, 185, 180, 2.5, Tom 3, Tom number 3, 7.5, 135, 37.5, 135, 37.5, 40, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 50, 2.5, 55, 7.5, $60, 2.5, 7.5, 70, 170, 70, 70, 70, 170, 167.5. D&D 771, D&D 771. 125, 7.5, 125, 7.5, 30, 2.5, 7.5, now 40, now 5, now 50, 150, 150, 150, 150, 55, 160, 70, 175, 75, 80, 185, 190, 190, now 5, 195, $2, $5, 205, 205, 205, 205, 205, 205, $2, Tom 3, Tom 3. 7.5, 140, now 5, 140, now 1 8. You get 140 and 5, both of them, I guess. 555, 65, 165, 70, 5, 80, 185, 90, 195, 95, $2, $5, 205, 210, 215, 15, 15, 15, 215, 215, 20, 220, now 5, now 30, 5, 40, 5, 245, 245, 245, 240, Harris. Okay, hold the biggest one on the rail. 7.5, we got 380, now 5. 380, now 5. 380, now 5. 380, now 5. Money, 5, 90, 95, 4, 5, 405, 10, 10, 10, 410, 47.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5, 479, 20, 2.5, 27.5, 30, 2.5, 7.5, 437.5, 40, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 50, 450, 454, 54, 54, 50, 454, 47.5, Troy 2, Troy 2. 7.5, 350, now 2.5, 350, now 2.5. Money, 5, 7.5, $60, 2.5, 7.5, 70, but 2.5, 5, 7.5, but 80, 380, 2.5, but 5, but 85, 87.5, 387 and 90, 390, 2.5, 5, 95, 97.5, $4, 2.5, but 5, but 7.5, but 10, but $10, 10, $4, $10, $10, $10, $10, 10, 407.5, capital 45. 7.5, $2, 30, now 2, 230, now 2, money 2, 232, 232, 22, $2, now 234, 36, 238, 240, 2, 4, 6, 8, 252, 4, 6, 258, 260, 2, 4, 64, 264, 444, 9494, 262, H71. 450, now 5, 450 on the money, now 5, but 450, now 5, 450, now 5, but 60, but 5, but 70, but 5, 475, 80, 80, but 5, but 485, 90, 90, but 5, but 495, 495, 495, 490, Troy, number 2. They were steered. Okay, sell the Brennel bull over there, the Brennel. $170, now $2. Sell it, just the Brennel, $172. $172, $4, $174.6, 76, 78, 82, 82, 194, 82, 46, 88, 88, 80, 90, 190, 190, 192, 192, $2, but $2, 190, Simon. $182.5, $180, now $2.5, money 5, $87.5, $92.5, $97.5, $7.5, $2, $2.5, $2.5, $5, $205, $27.5, now 10, now 12.5, 15, 79, 22.5, 25, 27.5, 30, but 2, 30, but 32.5, 35, 37.5, 40, but 2.5, but 5, but 45, 245, 245, 245, 242.5, Nolan 29. 210, 12 and a half, 210, 212 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 17, 22 and a half, now 5, now 7 and a half, 32 and a half, 5 and a 35, 235, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 7 and a half, now 40, 240, 2 and a half, but 5, but 245, but 5, 242 and a half, Nolan 29. Bull. Sell one head, one head, one head. There's 7 and a half, 250 down, 2 and a half, 255, 7 and a half, $60, 2 and a half, 7 and a half, 70, 2 and a half, 5, but a 7 and a half, 80, 280, 2 and a half, 5, but 87 and a half, 90, but a 2 and a half, 95, 97 and a half, 297 and a half, 97 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 295, Troy number 9, Troy 9. 7 and a half, $3, now 5, $3, 2 and a half, 302 and a half, money 5, 7 and a half, 10, 3, 10, 12 and a half, 15, but 3, 15, 15, 17 and a half, 20, but 3, 20, but 20, 2 and a half, but 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 3, 25, but 25, 25, 25, 25, 23, 4, but 3, 25, but 3, 25, 3, 26, but 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 30, 3, 31, 2, but 3, 3, 33, 3, 33, 3, 32, Gully, 6, Gully number 6. Heifer over there, heifer 3, 10, 12 and a half, 15, but 15, 3, 15, 7 and a half, 22 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 30, but 2 and a half, 5, but 37 and a half, 40, 3, 40, 2 and a half, 3, 4, 7 and a half, 50, but 2 and a half, 3, 55, 7 and a half, 3, 57 and a half, 3, 57 and a half, 3, 55, Fry, 49. Fry, 49. Tell the Black Bull, 330, now 5. 330, now 5. 330, now 5. 330, on the money, now 5. 335, 35, 40, 40, 40, now 45. 42 and a half, 342 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half. 340, capital, 30. 5, 34, cap 34. Okay, single jackpot. $360 now 5. $360 on the money now 5. 5 and the money $360 now 5. $360 now 5. 5 and the money 70 even the money 5 $80. $380 now 5. $85 $90 $90 now 5 $5 $395 $95 $95 $95 $95 $390 Troy 4 single jackpot. 190 now 5, 190 now money 5, 195, 190 bitty 5, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 190 Tom 3. Single jackpot. 320 now 5 money 5 325 325 30 now 30 2 and a half 330 5 30 7 and a half 340 42 and a half 340 2 and a half 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 340 capital 34. Two of them. You're buying two head. 440, now 5, now 50, now 5, now 60, now 5, but on two head. 460, 2 and a half, 5, but 7 and a half, 70, but 2 and a half, but 5, but 7 and a half, but 80. 480, 80, 2 and a half, but 5, but 87 and a half, 90, but 2 and a half, but 5, but 95, 97 and a half. Now $5, $5, $5, $5, $5, $5, $5, 497 and a half, Troy 2, 7 and a half, 375, 80, but 375, 80, money 80, but 375, 80, 375, 80, 80, 80, 80, 385, 85, 90, $4 now, $4, $395, Tom 3. Sell a big one, red molly face, 350 now 5, 350 now 5, money 65, 75, 85, 90, 5, 395, $4 now 5, 10, 14, 15, 20, 425, 425, 30, 430, 425, Troy 3, $4 now 5, and money 5, $4 now 5, 10, 415, 20, 5, 30, 5, 40, 50, 455, 455, 60, 460, now 5, 465, 70, 470, 465. Ritter. All right, look, I'm over here. Johnson cattle. When you pass out, they've had an 8-way shot. You're buying 16 steers. El Dorado, Texas, they got them pretty good right here. 285, 87 and a half, 285, 7 and a half, 90, 2 and a half, 95, 97 and a half, $3, 2 and a half, 302 and a half, 5, 305, 302 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 307 and a half, 305, $6, 305, 306, $6, 305, 306, 305, 306, 305, Troy, 24. Same good count, 320, 2 and a half, 320, now 2 and a half, 320, now 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 320, now 2 and a half, 320 on the money, 2 and a half, 320, 2 and a half, 5, 325, 7 and a half, 327 and a half, 27 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 25, 7 and a half, 327 and a half, 327 and a half, 325, D&D 60. Johnson Ranch. $2.90, $2.50, $2.90, $2.50, money, 5, 7, half, $3 now, 2.5, 305, 3, 7, 8, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 79, 79, 20, 322 and a half, 327 half, 327 half, 325, $26, $6, 326, 325, D&D number 9. There's 8 head of them. It happened to him, but 270, not 2.5. 270, not 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Okay, gonna hold one. Jody's pointing at there. 270, now 2.5. Money 2.5, now 5, now 7.5. 80, but 2.5, but 85, 87, 90. 290, 2.5, 290, 2.5. 290, 2.5. 290, but 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. 290. Troy, number 26. 240, now 2.5. 240, all money 2.5. 5, but 7.5, 50, 2.5, 55, 7.5, $60, 2.5, now 5. 7.5, 70, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 80, but 2.5, but 5, 87.5, 90, 2.5, but 95, 97.5, $3, 2.5, but 302.5, 302.5, 302.5, $3. Shoat number 8. 7 here, 290, now 5. 290, on money, now 5, but 290, now 5. Now, but $3, but 5, but 10, but 10, 15, 20, now 5. 330, but 5, but 40, but 40, but 335, 40, 45, 45, 345, 340, capital number 34. It's happening at $3 now 5, $3 now money 5, 35, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 330, 35, 335, 32 and a half, 332 and a half, 35, 35, 37 and a half, 340, 40, 2 and a half, 42 and a half, 340, 2 and a half, 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 340, D&D 9. Oh, what you got? Oh, hold on, man. What'd they bring? 340, 2 and a half. Holding that thin heifer. 340, 2 and a half. 340, 2 and a half. 340, same way. D&D 9. Okay, sell one little thin heifer. 360 now 5. 360, 260 now 5. 260 now 5. 260. We'll get it out. There she is. 260 now 5. Money 5. 265. 5 5. 70. 275. 280. 280. Thin heifer. 285. 285. 90 90 90 95. 295 95. 290. Fry number 49. Okay, win 45 plus days. 78, 260 now, 2.5, 5. 65, 265, 7, 70, 2.5, 7, 80, 280, 80, 2.5, 87, 90, 2.5, 97, $3, $3, $3, $3, 2.5, 302 and a half, $3, 2.5, 2.5, 5, 7, 7, 307, 305, Shoat 77. 7 and a half, 290, now 2 and a half, 290, 295, but 95, now 7 and a half, $3, 295, 7 and a half, now 10, now 12 and a half, 15, but 70, now 20, but 2 and a half, 322 and a half, 5, but 27 and a half, 330, but 32 and a half, but 335, but 37 and a half, but 37 and a half, 337 and a half, 335, gully 6, gully number 6, sell the black, but 330, now 5, on the money, 5, but 330, now 5, but 40, but 40, but 5, but 45, 345, 45, 45, 340, capital number 31. 7 and a half, $3, now 5, $3, 2 and a half, but 305, 305, 7 and a half, 10, 12 and a half, but 12 and a half, but 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 312 and a half, 310, gully 6. $310, 12 and a half, $310, $312 and a half, on the money, 12 and a half, $310, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, but about 15, but 15, 15, 79, but 317, 20, 320, 2 and a half, but 2 and a half, 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 25, 25, 7 and a half, but 327 and a half, 30, but 330, 330, 330, 330, 327 and a half, capital number 31. It's a little bull calf over there. He's having half, 330, now 540, but 335, now 40. By the scales, 345, and I'm 50, 350, 50, 50, 50, 350, 350, 350, 5, 60, 360, 70, 375, 80, 80, 375, H30, H30, heifer, 310, 12 and a half, 15, 79, 20, 2 and a half, 327 and a half, 32 and a half, 37 and a half, 40, 2 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 50, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 360, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 70, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 80, 380, 380, 380, 380, 380, 380, 377 and a half, D&D 4. Okay, sell two little ones, $3, now 5, $3, now 5, 10, but 15, 20, 320, 2 and a half, 5, 325, just half and a half, 330, but 2 and a half, 32 and a half, 330, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 330, capital number 31, capital 31, 290, now 5, money 5, 290, now 5, $3, but 5, 10, 15, 20, 320, 15, 20, 20, 320, 320, 315, gully 6, gully 6. Sell the brown with the tag, Brennel with the tag, $2.40, now 5, 245, money 5, Brennel 1, 245, 50, 250, now 5, but 60, but 260, 5, 70, but 5, 80, but 5, but 90, but 5, $3, but 5, but 10, but 10, 15, 20, but 320, 325, but 325, 5, but 5, 320, capital number 17. 7 and a half, 380, now 5, 380, now 5, 85, 95, 95, but $4.05, but 10, but 10, 15, 415, 415, 415, but 15, 15, 15, 410, Troy 4, Troy 4. Sell one little one and many more as you want. 7 and 330, now 5, 330, now money, now 5, but I'm 40, but 5, but 45, 350, but 55, but 360, but 60, but 60, 355, fry 49, fry 49. Sell two little ones, it's left here. 290, now 2 and a half. 290, 2 and a half, 5, 97 and a half, $3, 2 and a half, 5, but 7 and a half, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 79, 20, but 320, 320, 79, 20, 20, 20, 20, 320, 317 and a half, capital 94. 7 and a half, but 270, now money, 2 and a half, 270, 2 and a half, now 5, 7 and a half, 82 and a half, 85, 87 and a half, 287 and a half, 287 and a half, 87 and a half, 87 and a half, 87 and a half, 285, D&D 26. So Charlotte Heifer, 290, now 2 and a half, 290, money, 25, 97 and a half, $3, 2 and a half, 5, 307 and a half, 10, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 17 and a half, 20, 320, 2 and a half, 27 and a half, 320, 30, 2 and a half, 35, 35, 335, 335, 330, 2 and a half, capital 5. 7.5, 350, now 5, 350 on the money, 5, 560, 5, 365, 70, 5, 80, 90, 395, $4, $4, Troy, 3. 360, now 5, 360 on the money, now 5, 360, now 5, 70, 5, 80, 5, 390, 90, 2.5, 395, 95, 97, 97, 395, 97, 97, 395, Troy, 5. 330 now 2.5, 330 now 2.5, money 2.5, 5, 35, 35, 7.5, 340, 2.5, 5, 47, 50, 350, 2.5, 55, 55, 55, 55, 7.5, 357, 357, 357, 355, Simpson 6. Wilford. All right, boys, I have a Kovacs and 8 and Triangle 4 PHK. Wilford will do. 315, 79, 3, 79, 22 and a 5, 7, 32 and a 5, 35, 335, 32 and a 5, 35, 35, 35, 35, 335, 335, 335, 332 and a half, D&D 26. Here's 7.5, 340, now 2.5, 340, now 2.5, money 2.5, 340, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 340, out to go, 2.5, 5, 42 and a half, 42, 5, 7.5, 350, 2.5, 50, 2.5, 50, 2.5, 50, 2.5, 50, 2.5, 50, 2.5, 350, Fry, 49. Two or more pick till you like. 7.5, $3, now 2.5, $3 on money, 2.5, $3, 2.5, 2.5, 2 or more. 302 and a 5, 305, 305, 7.5, 307 and a half, 10, 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 15, 79, 79, 20, 320, 2.5, 2.5, 25, 25, 25, 25, 325, 325, 322 and a half, capital 31. It's having a 350 now 5, 350 now 5, 350 now 5, money 5, 355, 350 now 5, 5, 60, 5, 65, 70, 375, 80, 5, 85, 85, 85, 85, 385, 385, 380, Troy 5. 7 here, 360 now 5, 360 now 5, money 5, 70, 5, 375, 80, 80, 80, 2.5, 82.5, 2.5, 2.5, 85, 85, 85, 85, 385, 7.5, 3 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 87, 90, 390, 90, 2.5, 5, 95, 97, 7, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, 397 and a half, Troy number 4. Houston guy. Okay, boys, have been weighing 60 plus days, had a black wet leg shot and respiratory. 2 ballies, 2 black ballies. 7.5, 305, 7.5, 305, 307 and a half. On the money, 7, 9, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 79, 20, 2 and a half, 5, 25, 25, 325, 325, 2 and a half, 5, 325, 322 and a half, Troy number 6. 7 $2.60 now 2.5, 260, 2.5, 5, 2.5, 7, 70, 2.5, 7, 80, 2.5, 87 half, 287 half, 287 half, 87 half, 7 half, 285, Nolan 75, Nolan 75. 7 half, $3, now 2.5, $3 on money, 2.5, 307 half, 7, 8, 7, 8, 10, 310, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 3, 15, 15, 12 and a half, 15, 17 half, 17 half, 20, 3, 20, 20, 20, 320, 320, 3, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 325, 25, 25, 25, 25, 325, 325, 320, 2.5, Troy 6. $250 now 5, money 5, $250 now 5, $250 now 5, 5 with a 255, 5, 60 with a 5, with a 70 with a 5, with a 75, 85, 25, 25, 85, 85, 25, 290, 295, 95, 95, 295, 295, 290 D&D 54. Selling 133 now 4, 133 now 4, 133, 4, 5, 6, 7, 37, 38, 138, 39, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 145, 6, 7, 47, 48, 48, 9, 149, 50, 150, 151, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 154, shoat number 2, shoat number 2. And around the shots over there, 350 now 5, 350 on the money now 5, 65, 65, 75, 80, 5, 85, 90, 93, 90, 90, 85, 395, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 390 gully number 6. 7.5, 330 now 5, 330 now 5, 330 now 5, 330 now 5, money 5, 40, 5, 50, 5, 365, 75, 80, 5, 90, 395, 95, 95, 395, 95, 95, 390 H 30. So black bull, black bull, 7.5, 270, down 2.5, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 7.5, 90, 2.5, 95, 7.5, 297, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 295, Nolan 26, 7.5, 240, now 2.5, 240, 2.5, 7.5, 50, 2.5, 55, 7.5, 260, 2.5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, 75, 7.5, 80, 80, 2.5, 85, 87.5, 90, 2.5, 95, 95, 95, 295. 295, 95, 95, 95, 292.5, Nolan 77. Bulls $3 now 2.5, 302 and a half money 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 317 now 20, 320, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 320, 2.5, 25, 25, 25, 27 and a half, 327, 7, 7 half, 325, Capital 31. It's 7, 280, now 2.5, 5, 82 and a 5, 85, 7, 92 and a half, but 95, 95, 295, 295, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 292 and a half, Nolan 27. It's happening at $3 now 5, $3 and 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 330, 330, 30, 35, 330, 2.5, 330, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 330, capital number 31. Sell the tag, ball face with. Okay, sell both of them. 320, now 5, 320, now 2.5, 320, 2.5, 320, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2, money, 2.5, 325, 27.5, 30, 330, 2.5, 35, 37.5, 337.5, 40, 340, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 337.5, capital 34, 337.5. Okay, sell 3 dark blacks. 315, now 20, now 5, another 320, now 5. 320, you're buying 3 dark blacks, now 30. 330, now 5. 335, 40. 340, with a bit of 340, 340, 340, 340, with a bit of 340. 335, Troy 1. So 1, 2, 90, 2.95, 97, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, 297, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, 297.5, D&D 26. So two head. Over there, 290, now 5, money 5, but it's 290, now 5, 295, $3, 295, but it's 7.5, 7.5, 307 half, but it's 7.5, 307 half, 7.5, at 10, $310, 10, 10, 19, 19, 19, 310, 310, 307 half, capital 31, cap 31, right here. 270, now 5, money 580, but a 5, but a 90, but a 5, but a 295, 290, now 5, $3, but a $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, 295, $3, but a $3, $3, $3, but a $3, $3, 295. Troy 100, Troy 100, yard him with the nines. Troy 100, yard him with the nines. Got a steer, 290, 2.5, 290, and I 25, 97, $3, $3, $3, 2.5, 305, 305, 55, but a 205, 5, 7.5, 307 half, 307 half, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, $10, $10, $10, 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 312 and a half, Simpson 37. Quillen Ranch. 40-something head of them. Quillen Ranch. 260, now 2.5, 260, now 2.5, money 2.5, 260, now 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 260, 2.5, but 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, out to go, 2.5, 2.5, 260, 2.5, but 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 260, Troy 26. Eight more heifers. Same good cattle. 290, 290, 290, 295, 95, 290, 295, 7.5, 97, $3, $3, 295, 305, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 17, 20, but 320, 17 half, 320, 20, 20, 20, but 320, but 20, 320, 320, 320, 320, 317 and a half, D&D 26. Seven and a half, 305, 37 and a half, 305, 7 and a half, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 17 and a half, 79, 20, 320, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5, 25, 25, 23, 24, 325, 326, 326, 7, 327, 28, 329, $9, number $9, $9, 329, 30, 330, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 330, 330, 330, 330, 330, 329, Troy, 65. 290, 2.5, 290, 25, 95, 7.5, $3, 2.5, 305, 305, 305, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 10, 10 or 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 15, 315, 17, 17, 17, 317, 315, 16, 17, 317, 316, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 317, 316, Troy, 65. Troy, 65. Eight bulls, 7 and a half, 260, now 25, 60, 2 and a half, 7 and a half, 67, 72 and a half, 2 and a half, 75, 7 and a half, 82 and a half, 85, 87 and 90, 290, 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 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 290, Nolan, 27. African. So two. 7.5, $3.29.5, 3.29.5. On the money, 5 at a 30, but a 5 at a 40, but a 5 at a 350, but a 5 at a 360, but a 360, 55, not 60, but a 360, 355, fry 49. Okay, way down low. 220, now 5, 220, now 5, money 5, 225, but a 30, but a 5, but a 40, but a 5, but a 245, 245, 5, but a 245, 240, Troy, number 1. 320, now 5, money 5, 35, but a 40, but a 5, but a 50, but a 350, 345, now 50, now 5, 355, 60, 365, but a 70, but a 75, but a 75, 375, 370, fry 49. African 350, now 5, 350 on the money 5, 355, 65, and a 75, and a 80, but a 5, 35, 85, 90, 95, but a $4, but a $4, $4, 395, Troy 3. It's happened $3 now 5, $3 now 5, money 5, but a 305, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 79, but a 20, 322 and a half, 5, but a 25, 7 and a half, 327 and a half, but a 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and 30, 330, 332 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 330 gully 6. 7 and a half, 330, now 5, 330 on money 5, 40, 40, 340, 35, 40, 340, 340, now 40, now 40, now 5, 45, 50, 355, 355, 65, 65, 365, 2 and a half, 5, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 367 and a half, 365, Simpson 35. Yes, ma'am. Africans, 7.5, $3 now 5, money 5, $3 now 5, 10, and a minute 15, 20, but 325, 320 now 5, 320 now 5, 5, 25, 320 D&D 9. So one little one, or what I got? One little one, $3.50 now 5, 350 now 5, money 5, 65, and I'm 70. You buying the little one, 375, 375, 80, 80, but I'm 5, but 90, but 90 and a 5, but 95, 395, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 390. Troy number 3. Troy got the little one. Okay, hold your ticket, sell those 2. 3, 10, 12 and a half, money, 12 and a half, 50, 12 and a half, 15, 7 and a half, 22 and a half, 7 and a half, 32 and a half, 5, 37 and a half, 40, but a 2 and a half, 5, but a 7 and a half, 50, 352 and a half, 5, 355, 7 and a half, 60, 362 and a half, 5, but a 7 and a half, 70, but a 370, 370, 370, 370, 370, 367 and a half, D&D number 12. Here's Troy. Sell one big one. 7 and a half, 270, now 2 and a half, 270, money, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 70, 25, 75, 2 and a half, 85, 5, 5, 5, 5, 275, 27 and a half, 77 and a half, but 80, but 280, 2 and a half, 85, 85, 87 and a half, 90, but 2 and a half, but 5, but 97 and a half, 97 and a half, $3, 2 and a half, 302, 5, 7 and a half, but 7 and a half, 7, 10, 10, 12 and a half, but 15, but 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 312 and a half, capital number 94. 7 here, 290, now 5, 290 on the money, 5, $3, 5, 10, but 15, 20, but 370 and a half, 20, 322 and a half, but a 25, 25, 7 and a half, 330, but a 2 and a half, but 32 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 330, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 330, gully 6. Two big ones, sell. Two big ones. It's happening here. 340 now 5. 340 now 5. Two big ones, 340 on the money now 5. And now 340, 550. 350 now 5. 355, 355, 350 Troy 5. Seven here, $3.60 now 5. 360 on the money 575, 85 at 90, but a bit of 390. 85.95. $4 now 5. 405 10. $410 15 20. 420 15 now 20 20 20. A bit of 420 420 420. 415 so lease. Seven here, $4 now 5. $4 money 5 with a bit of a $4 5 10 and $10 10 15 20 with a bit of 420 now 530 now 5 now 40 now 5 now 50 450 now 5 455 55 55 55 55 55 450 so lease. Oh, 7 half, 360 now 5. 360 on the money, 575, 80, all of them, 80 now 5, 85, now 90, 390, 90, 90, no matter 2 9, but a 9, 2 9, 2 and a half, 5, 95, 97, 8, but a 7, 7, 8, $4, $4, 2 and a half, 5, 405, 7 and a half, 10, but a bit of $10, $10, 10, $410, $10, 10, 7 and a half, now 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, but a 410. 407 and a half, so lease. 407 and a half, so lease. 7 and a half, 7 and a half, but it's 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 330 now 2. 332, 4, 34, 36, 38, $40 now 2 and a half, 45, but a bit of 7 and a half, 350, but a 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 5, but a 355, 7 and a half, 360, but a bit of 2 and a half, but a bit of 2 and a half, 205, but a bit of 7 and a half, 360, 7 and a half, 70, but a bit of 72 and a half, but a bit of 25, but a bit of 7 and a half, 377 and a half, 82 and a half, 82 and a half, 5, but 85, 385, 385, 385, 382 and a half, Simpson 35, Simpson 35. What got heifer over there? 7 and a half, 7 and a half, a bit of 7 and a half, 280 now 2 and a half, 280 now 2 and a half. Okay, back left. Old deal goes with her. 150 now 2 and a half. 150 now 2 and a half. 150 now 2 and a half. 152 and a half. 2 and a half. 2 and a half. 130 now 2 and a half. 132 and a money 2 5. 37 and a half 40. 142 and a half 5. 147 and a half. 150. 152 and a half. 52 and a half. 2 and a half. 2 and a half 5. 155. 7 and a half. 60 with the 2 and a half. With a 5. 67 and a half. 70 with the 2 and a half. With a 5. With a 75. 175. 175. 172 and a half. Hobby R3. Hobby R number 3. What you got? Front right. All right, 7 and a half, 7 and a half. $2 now 5. $2 now 5. Money 5. 205, 205, 205, 202 and a half. 202 and a half. 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 25, 205, 205, 7 and a half. 10, 10, 210, 12 and a half. 212 and a half. 212 and a half. 15, 15, 15, 17 and a half. 217 and a half. 217 and a half. 217 and a half. 215. Shoat 77. Shoat 77. All heifers, you good? All right, 7 and a half, 7 and a half. Sell 2 or more. Sell 2 or more. 7 and a half. 320 now 5. 320 now 5. Money 5. 330 with a bit of 5. 40 now 5. Now 50 now 5. 355. Any two you like. 355 60. 365 with a bit of 70 with a bit of 5 with a bit of 80 with a bit of 5. 85 90 with a 5 with a bit of $4 with a 5 with a bit of 405 405 405 405 $4. D&D number 4. You want them all? He wants them all. Thank you. All right, boys, light and good. 420 now 5. 420 now 5. 420 on money 530 now 5 now 40 now 5 now 50 now 5 now 16 now 5 470 and 470 now 5 475 470 now 5 475 5 5 470 so lease. Sell 3 big ones there, 3 big ones there. 450, now 60, now 70, 460, 70, 80, by the pound 90, 495 dollars a pound, 505, 505, three big ones. 505, 500 now 5, now 5, now 10, now 10, now 510, 505, 10, 505, 510, 15, 515, 515, 515, 515, 515, 515, 515, 20, 520, 520, 520, 520, 515, Russell 3, Russell 3, Russell 3. Oh, weigh the calf over there, $5 a pound. Now 5, 505, 10, 15, 25, 35, 40, 540, 555, 565, 575, 575. By the pound, 575, 575, 575, 75, 75, 570. Fox 1, Fox number 1. Yeah, okay. Okay, sell three big ones. Three big ones. All little boys. Sell three big ones there. 7 there, 475, 480, 595, $5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 530, 530, 545, 540, 550, 550 a pound, 550, 550, 555, 55, 55, 55, 55, 50, 545, so lease. Weigh him there, $5, now 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 55, 60, 570, 580, 590, 590, now $6 a pound. Now 5, 605, 10, 615, 615 a pound, 615, now 20, 625, 625, 625, 25, 25, 620 a pound. Fox number 1, Fox number 1. Sell the black heifer, 330, now 5, 330, now 5, money 5, and then money 40, 5, and then 55, and then 355, 60, 365, and then money 65, and then 365, 49.
Bloodworth, Lonnie Bloodworth.
Robert Lee. Okay, Lonnie Bloodworth, we're going to give you a call. Right hind leg. Okay, bid price, right hind leg. Okay, get a bid price, 220 now 5, 220 now 5, money 5, 225, turn 20 now 5, 220 now 5, 555, 225, 225, 30, 230, 230, 230, 230, 25, 30, 230, 30, 30, 35, 235, 40, 240 now 5, 245, 50, 250, 250, 55, 50, 55, 50, 250, 250, 250, 245, Gully, number 6, bid price. I call the shipper. Okay, so the black steer, 360, now 5, 3 black steer, 360 on the money, now 570, now 580, 5, 90, 5, $4.5, 405, 55, 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 20, 5, 425, 425, 420, Troy, number 4. So steer over there, 3, 10, 15. Oh, money 15, 3, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 3, 30, now 5, 40, 5, 50, 5, 60, 5, 365, 5, 360, capital, 45. 7 hand, 290, now 5, 290, now 5. On money 5, now $3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 5, 40, 5, 50, 350, 50, 50, 50, 350, 350, 345, Troy, number 3. 320 now 5. 320 now money 530 now 2 and a half 5 37 and a half 42 and a half bit 5 47 and a half 347 and a half bit 50 350 350 350 2 and a half 2 and a half 2 and a half 2 and a half bit 2 and a half 350 2 and a half 2 5 5 5 5 55 7 and a half 357 and a half 357 and a half 357 and a half 355 fry 49. Two more, pick T like 330 now 5. 330 on money 5, 330 now 5, 40, 5, 50, 5, 365, 365, 365, 5, 365, 49, 7 290 now 5, 290 now 5, 290 now 5, 295, 295, 95, 95, 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 290 on money, 2 and a half, 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 5, 95, 95, 95, 295, 292 and a half, H22, H22. Sell a Charlie steer. 7 and a half, 320, now 5. On the money, 530, 40, 5, 350, 5, 355, 60, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5, 365, 362 and a half, Simpson, 36. Okay, hey, 35. Simpson, 35. Okay, by the pound, weigh the calf, 440, now 5. 445, 50, 50, 50, 450, 450, 450, 450. Now 5, now 455, 455, 65, 470, 70, 475, 480, 80, 85, 85, 85, 85, 90, 490, 490, 90, 90, 90, 90, 485, Wilford Wildy. Two reds, $3.15, now 17 and a half, 317 and a half, now 20, now 2 and a half, 27 and a half, 327 and a half, 30, 330, 2 and a half, 35, 335, 35, 7 and a half, 340, 40, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 345, 45, 45, 7 and a half, 347 and a half, 50, 352 and a half, 55, 55, 55, 355, 355, 7 and a half, 357 and a half, 357 and a half, 355, Troy 5, 330, by the scales, now 5, now money 5, 335, 35, 45, and 50, 55, 365, 375, 375, 85, 85, 85, 85, 385, 85, 380, D&D 4, D&D 4. A steer, 7 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 15, 15, 15, 15, 79, 20, 2 and a half, 5, 27 and a half, 320, 30, 2 and a half, 35, 35, 335, 335, 2 and a half, 5, 5, 5, 332 and a half, capital 35. Sell a big one, 320, now 5, 320, on money 5, 30, 55, 40, 5, 350, 55, 360, 5, 70, 75, 375, 375, 375, 370, Simpson 35, 7 half, 360, now 5, money 5, 365, 70, 5, 80, 5, 385, 385, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 380, Troy 5. Hey, 7 half, 280, now 5, 280, now 5, 280 on money 5, 90, 5, 295, $3 now 5, 302 and a half, 302 and a half, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, now 10, $10, $10, 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 310, Simpson 38. Some of those 7 and a half, $2.70 now 2 and a half, 270 now 2 and a half, money 5, 7 and a half, 82 and a half, 87 and a half, 90, 290, 2 and a half, 95, 97 and a half, 297 and a half, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, 297 and a half, Gully 6, Gully 6. Yes, ma'am. Over there, $3.16 now 5, 316 now 5, and money 5, and 70, 5, 80. Okay, have this other big one go with him. 380, 375, 80, 85, 385, 80. 590, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 385, capital number 45. Seven here, $4 now five, $4 now five, $4 money five, $4 now five, $45 five, $5. Now you can get him here, but $4 now five, $4.05. $4.5, $4 Troy four. Seven and a half, but I gotta go ahead, but a $3.50 now five, $3.50 now five, number 55, money 560, with a bit of five, and a bit of 70, with a bit of 75, and a 375, 80, 85, with 85, 90, with a bit of 90, 90, 90, 385, 99, 90, 385, capital 92, capital 92. Two more, 330, now five, 330 on money, five, but 40, with a 2 and a half, with a 5, with a 7 and a half, with a 50, with a 350, 2 and a half, 55, 357 and a half, 357 and a half, 357 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 350, any two, 357 and a half, any two, 350, 60, 360, 360, 2 and a half, 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 360, fry 49, fry 49. Sell the one, hold your ticket, sell the one by the scales, 310, 12 and a half, 310. 12 and a half, 15, but 15. 12 and a half, 15. Over there, 315, 15, but 315, 15, 50, 50, 50, 50, 15. 312 and a half, D&D, 26 on the scale. Every kind of 7 or 290, now 295, 295, 97 hand now, $3, 205, 7, 8, 10, 12 and a half, 15, but 370, now 20, 320, 20, 2 and a half, 5, but 327, now 30, 2 and a half, now 5, 37, now 40, 2 and a half, 345, 342 and a half, 5, 345, 2 and a half, now 5, 5, 342 and a half. That's Mr. Watkins, thank you. Two reds. 7 and a half, $3 now 5, $3 now money 5, 10, 10, 15, 20, 320, 20, 25, 322 now 5, 322 and a half now 5, 325, 322 and a half, Troy 5, 7 and a half, 290 now 2 and a half. 290, 2 and a half, 5, 95, 95, 95, 292 and a half, 5, 5, 7 and a half, now 7 and a half, $3, 2 and a half, 302 and a half, 305, 7 and a half, 10, about 10, 310, 310, 310, 307 and a half, Gully 6. Sell the little one, ball face there, 330, now 5, 330 on the money, now 5, 40, 5, 50, 355, 355, 355, 60, 5, 370, 5, 375, 80, 80, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 380, Troy number 5, Troy 5, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, money 15, 12 and a half, 15, 17 and a half, 20, 322 and a half, 325, 25, 7 and a half, 30, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 332 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 330, capital 31, capital 31. Sell the ball face and many more as you want. 350 now 5, 355 money 5, 350 ball face. Many more as you want. 355, 355, 60, 365, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 85, 90, 90, 95, 95, 390, Troy number 4, 7 and a half, 330, now 5, 330 on the money, 5, 40, 340, now 5, now 50, 55, 60, 360, 5, 365, 5, 360, capital number 17. Sell the red heifer. Got a little long. Okay, look her over a little bit. 7 and a half, 116 now 2 and a half. Put on 42 back there. Got 42. 116 now 2 and a half. 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half. Look her over. 116 now 2 and a half. On the money, 2 and a half. 162 and a half. Now 5. 67 and a half, 70, but 2 and a half, 75, 175, 75, 75, 172 and a half, Javier 3. 7 hand, 280, now 2.5, 280, 2.5, 85, 7 hand, 90, 2.5, 95, 95, 297 half, $3, $3, 2.5, 35, 305, 305, 7 hand, 7 hand, 7 half, 307 half, 307 half, 307 half, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 310, 310, 307 half, gully 6. 7 half, 320, now 2.5, 320, now 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 320, now 2.5. On the money, 2.5, 5, but a 25, 25, 25, 7 half, 330, 330, but a 30, 2.5, 330, 2.5, 2.5, but a 30, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 330, capital 34. So 2 over there. 2 over there, many more as you want. 7 half, 350, now 5. 350 on the money, 5, but a 360, but a 5, but a 65. 370, 5, but a 80, but 80, but 80, but 80, but 5, but 5, but 5. 390, 90, but 90, 90, 95, but 5, but 5, but 5, $4, $4, $4, now 5, 405, 405, 405, 405, 405, $4. Troy, number 4. 340, now 5, but a 340, now 5. 340, now 5, 55, but a 360, but a 5, but a 70, but a 5, but a 375, 375, 555, but a 370, capital number 17. Set right there, one head going out. 7 280, now 5, 280, on money 590, but a 5, but a $3, but a 5, but a 10, 310, 15, 315, 315, 315, 20, 320, now 5, now 30, 335, 340, 340, now 40, now 40, now 40, 335, Watkins. Over there, 370, now 5. 370, now 5. 80, 5, and 3 to 5. 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 90. Now 5, now $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, 5, 405, 5, $4. Troy, number 4. Sell the Charlotte and the black. Charlotte and black, many moves you want. 350, now 5. 350, now money, now 5. 355, 350, now 5. 560, 360, 5, 70, 75, 5, 375, 80, 80, 85, 85, 85, 85, 90, 390, now 5, 95, 95, 95, 95, now $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, 395, Watkins. 7 half, 340, now 5. 340, now 5, 40, now 5. 340, now 5, 340, now 5. 340, on the money, you say, now 5, 5, 345. 345, 340, capital number 34. Little bitty tiny pimples. 270, now 5. 270, now 5. Money, 5. 275. 270, now 5. 5, 5. 80, 5. 290, now 5. Now $3, now 5. 305, 10, 15, 20, 320, 320, 315, Watkins. So, over there, 350, now 5, 350, now 5. Money, 5, 355, 60, 70, 80, 380, 375, 80, 80, 80, 380, 375, capital 92. That right here, 330, now 5, 330, now 5. Money, 5, 40, 5, 50, 5, 60, 5, 70, 5, 375, 370, now 5, 375, 5, 5, 5, 370, capital number 3, capital 3. Okay, hold the tag. Hold the tag. Sell three little ones there. 216. Three little one, 260, 2.5, 5, 7, 70, 2.5, 7, 80, 2.5, 85, 7, 90, 290, 2.5, 95, 97, 297, 7, 2, you're buying three little ones, 297, 97, now 7, now $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $297.5 Watkins. Okay, sell the big one. Buy the scales. Hold your ticket. 225, 227. 225, 227, money 7, 227, 220. Got the money now 7, 225, 7. Going on. 227, 7, another 7, another 7, another 7, another 7. 225. Shoat 7, 7. Shoats on the scales. Stop out there, African, number 7, $3.95, $3 on the money, now 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 5, 40, 5, 345, 45, 340, D&D 23. Milliken, Robert Lee. All right, Milliken cattle, Robert Lee, Texas. Over there, forehead. Okay, you're buying three big ones over there. Three big ones. 3 and 10, 12 and a half, 3, 10, 12 and a half, 12 and a half. Money, 12 and a half, 15, 3, 15, 15, 15, 17 and a half, 20, 3, 20, 2 and a half, 5, 3, 25, 7 and a half, 3, 27 and a half, 3, 25, 27 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 3, 25, Simpson 37. Steer, 7 and a half, 3, 50. Oh, 152, 350, now 5. 350, not hold anyone that don't like. Money, 5, 355, 60, 5, 365, 70, 70, 365, now 70, 370, 370, 365, Simpson 6. 7.5, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, money 5, 305, 555, 10, $10, 10, 15, 320, 325, 330, 30, 30, 325, 30, 30, 30, 30, 330, 325, capital 31. Okay, two red heifers, 7.5, $2.79. Sell all three, 270, now 2.5, 270 on the money, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 25, 7.5, 80, 80, 2.5, 85, 87, 90, 2.5, 97.5, $3, 2.5, 5, 85, 7.5, 3, 7.5, 10, number $10, 10, 12.5, 12.5, 15, 315, 315, 315, 79, 317, 317, 315, 79, 79, 79, 315, Watkins. 290, not 290, on the money, 5, 7.5, $3, 2.5, 305, 7.5, 7, 10, 10, 10, 12 and a half, 3, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 15, 315, 315, 315, 12 and a half, now 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 3, 12 and a half, Troy, 1. African, 7.5, $3 now 5. On the money, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 330, 2.5, 330, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 330, H, 22. Seven half, 330, now 5, 330. One or both, 330 on the money, now 5, 335. 340, 5, 50, 355, 360, 5, 70, 375, 75, 80, 85, 385, 85, 85, 85, 85, 380, Troy, 5, Troy, 5, 70, $2.50, now 5, $2.50, now 5, 250, now 5, $2.50, now 5, money, 5, 255, 255, 255, 255, 255, 255, 250, Troy, number 5. Right here, 290, now 5, 290, now 5. On the way, 4 and a $3.5, 10 and a 15, and a 3, 15, 20, 320, 15, now 79, 379, 379, 379, 320, 320, 320, 32 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 320, shoot, 7, 7. All right, there's something hit up. 245, now 52, 55, 65, and I'm on 70, 55, 80, 285, 290, 90, 290, 290, 290, now 2.5, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, Troy, 9. 70, 270, now 5, money 5, 80, 5, 285, 90, 295, 95, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, 2.5, 302 and a half, 5, 305, 305, 305, 305, 302 and a half, Troy, 9. 70, 245, 7 half, 55, 65, 75, 80, 85, 290, 290, 285, 90, 90, 90, 285, 90, 90, 90, 290, 285, Nolan, 27. Two eighty, 2.5, 7, 90, 90, 90, 90, 2.5, 295, 95, 95, 92, 95, 7 half, 297 half, 97 half, 97 half, 7 half, 7 half, 295, 97 half, 7 half, 7 half, 7 half, 295, Troy, 9. 150 now 2.5, 150 now 2.5, 152 5, 5 7.5, $60, 2.5 7.5, 70, 2.5 7.5, 177.5 at 80, 2.5, 180, 2.5, 187.5, 187.5, 190, 190, 2.5, 190, 2.5, 95, 95, 195, 190, 2.5, 95, 95, 7.5. 197.5. Now $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, $2, 197.5 salmon. Seven and 280 now 2.5 money 2.5 2.5 5 85 7.5 but 90 but 290 2.5 5 but 95 97.5 $3 $3 2.5 302.5 but about 2.5 $3 2.5 $3 Troy number 5. 7 had 220 now 5 220 now 5 220 now 5 200 you get him 220 now 5 220 now 5 220 now 5 5 5 but 220 now 5 220 now 5 225 $2 now 5 $2 now 5 $2 now 5 $2 now 5 5 5 but $2 now 5 205 2 money 5 205 $2 Tom 3 Two little ones. Let's have it here. 290, now 2.5, 297.5, $3, 2.5, 3.7.5, 3.7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 17, 20, 320, 320, 20, 20, 20, 20, 320, 320, 2.5, 325, 327.5, 330, 330, 330, 327.5, D&D 26, 7 had 220s, 270, 2.5, 270, 25, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 7.5, 90, 2.5, 97.5, 297.5, $3, but 2.5, but 5, 3.7.5, 10, but 12.5, 15, 17.5, 20, but 320, 320, 317.5, Watkins. 7.5, $3 now 5, $3 on the money now 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 2.5, 3, 32, 5, 35, 37.5, 40, 3, 40, 2.5, 3, 42 2.5, 3, 42 2.5, 2.5, 5, 345, 345, 345, 342.5, Watkins. She's 4 months bred getting the business right here. 600 by the head, now quarter, now half. 600 quarter, now half, now 75. 700, now quarter, now half. 775 by the head, 800, 800, 800, $800, 800 and a quarter, 8 and a quarter, 8 and a half, 875. 900 now quarter, 9 and a quarter, 999.75. $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $975. Russell, straight, Russell 1, Russell number 1. Was young, doing a good job that calf. Sell them 20, 300 now 24, money 4, 23, 4, 5, 6, 27, 2,800, 2,900 now 3,000, 31, 32, 33, 34, 3,400 now 35, 3,600, $3,600, 35, 36, 35, 3,600, 35, 3,600, 600, 600, 35, 36. Sold them $3,500. Jody. Eric Gully. Eric Gully.
Okay, those pairs,
345. Now 50. We sell one of them, Jody. Sell the big one. 350. Now money. 5, 65, 75, 85, 95, $4, $4, 5, 45, 10, 4, 10, 15, 20, 5, 425, 30. Now 5, now 40, 440, 4. You can have both. You're buying the big one. You can take a both. 440, 440, now 5. 445, 50, 450, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 450, 450, 450, 445. Ritter. He wants them both. 2 head, Ritter. Okay, had those calves jerked off of them. 7 ham, 133, 134, 133, now 4, now money, 4, 33, now 4, now 4, now 4, now 4, now 4, now 5, 135, 36, 136, 6, out of the second, 135, Marty, 25, Marty, 25. Sell open cow. Over there, 7 125, $126, money, $6, $7, $8, $9, 29, 30, 1, number 2, 3, 34, 35, 36, 37, 138, 139, 139, 40, 140, 1, 2, 3, 42, 3, 4, 144, now 5, and 6, second, 7, 147, 48, 149, 149, now 50, 150, 151, 151, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 155, shoat number 2. Shoat number 2, weigh the bull, 177, 8, 178, 9, 81, 2, 3, 84, 84, 83, 4, 5, 6, 86, 7, 87, 187, 187, 187, 186, Lone Star 1. All right, 3 and 1, 3,000 now, 31, 32, 31, 2, 3, 33, 34, 35, 36, 36, 7, 3,800, 38, 9, 39, 4,000, 4,000, $4,000, 4,000, 3,900 now, $4,000, $4,000, $4,000, $4,000, 3,900, Eric Gully. Sellable, 7 ham, 290, now 24, 96, 98, $3, 2, 302, 302, 302, 302, 302, $3, Troy, 65, Troy, 65. 7 ham, 240, now 2.5, 240, 2.5, money, 5, 7.5, 50, 25, 7.5, 260, 2.5, now 5, now 7.5, 70, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 85, 87, 90, 290, 290, 90, 290, 287.5, shoat 100. Black cow is light bred. Weighed the black cow, 175, 77, 9, 179, $9, 77, $9, bred cow, 981, 83, 85, 87, 89, 91, 93, 95, 97, 199, 201, 201, 203, 203, 203, 203, 203, 203, 203, 203, 201, shoat 13. 7 ahead, 2, what do you got, 122, now 3, 122, now 3, now 4, now 5, now 6, 7, 8, 9, 31, 32, 3, 34, 34, 5, 36, 37, 38, 139, $40, 141, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 147, 8, 8, 9, 9, 148, shoat 2, shoat 2. 2 going out. 7 half, 330, now 5, 330, now 5, 30, now 5, money, 5, 40, 5, 350, 355, 355, 65, 70, 70, 370, 370, 370, 370, 365, capital number 35. 7 half, 320, now 5, 320, now 5, 320 on money 5, 325, 20, 30, 35, 40, 5, 345, 55, 50, 45, 45, 45, 340, Troy 5. From Milwaukee, you talk birdie, pretty fancy rig. 7 here, 33, 34, bull calf and all. 33, 34, 30, money 4, 34, 5, 35, 36, 3600 now 7, 37, 37, 36, 37, 3600 now 7, 3600, 3700, 3700, 3700, 3800, 38, 37, 38, 38, 38, 37, 38, 38, 38, $3,700, Troy 30. Okay, had big calf sharks off of them. They are bred. 7.5, 122, weighing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27, 28, 129, 128, 9, 31, 2, 31, 2, 131, 2, 31, 2, 2, 2, 4, 34, 36, 38, 138, 40, now 2, now 4, now 6, now 8, 148, 50, now 2, 52, 54, 56, 58, $60, $2, $4, 66, 8, 168, 168, 168, $8, $8, $8, $8, $8, $8, $8, 166, fry 10. Okay, got a little pimple on her face. 7, 125, 126, 125, 26, 27, 28, 129, 31, 2, 31, 2, 3, 4, 34, 5, 6, 137, 8, 139, 138, $9, 138, $9, 9, 58, 9, 58, 9, 138, Lone Star.
These are in a different pen.
Okay, so red cow, solid mouth, light bread. 150 wire 2, 152 4, 154 6 8, $60 $2 $4 $6 8, 172 4 6, 78 80, 82 84 84, 182 84, 194 86, 86 186, 184 86 86 86 86, 184 fry 10. Sell the black cow. Black cow. 7.5, 133, 134, 134, 5, 34, now 5, 34, now 5, 6, 37, 38, 39, 40, 140, 140, 140, 139, Lone Star. Okay, had a big heifer cow. Good age cow. 158 on 1, 2, with the 4, 6, 8, $60, $8, $4, $6, 8. 172 with the 4, 76, 78, 82 to 4, 86, 88, 90 with the 2, with the 4, 194, 192, 94, 194, 94, 94, 94, 192, show 2, 22, show 22.
2163 is on this consignment. I hadn't seen the second one yet. Or I don't remember it if it's already come through. I don't remember it. I don't see it. No, I understand. Those calves were in this pen.
All right, same cow. 140 now 140 heave it 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 with the 50, 152, 152, 2, 2, 2 with the $1, 151, 2, 151 now 2, $151, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, $2, $2, 151 Lone Star. Okay, sell 3 bull calves. Yeah, I think I have. Maybe. 330 now 5, 330 now 5. On money 5, 330 now 5, 335, 335. 335, 40, 340, now 5, 345, 50, 355, 355, and a 60, 360, 60, 360, 355, capital number 30, 45, cap, 35. $4.95, money, 5, $4.95, one going on, 4, 5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 20, 425, 30, 5, 40, 5, 50, 455, 460, 5, 70, 70, 470, 470, 470, 465, Ritter. Heifers over there, two heifers, 7.5, 335, 340, 335, 45, 45, 50, 355, 365, 375, 80, 380, 380, 380, 380, 380, 375, fry 49. Sell the tag. 7 a bull, 290, now 5, 290, now 5, 290, now 5, 95, 95, 290, now 5, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, money 5, 295, 295, 95, 95, 290, capital 45, 350, now 5, 355, 60, 5, 75, 80, 5, 90, 5, 395, 495, 410, 15, 20, 5, 430, 5, 440, now 5, 445, 50, 450, 450, 450, 450, 450, 450, 445, Wilford Wildy. They are bred. $2, weigh them to you, now 2.5, $2, now 2.5, money, 2.5, 2.5, now 5, 2.5, 7, 8, 10, 12.5, 15, 215, 215, 215, 215, 15, 15, 15, 15, 215, 215, 70.5, 220, 220, 220, 220, 220, 220, 217.5. San Diego, thank you. San Diego, 7.5, 240, now 2.5, 240, 2.5, 47, 52, 55, 7, 60, 2.5, 7, 70, 2.5, 7, 80, 2.5, 85, 2.5, 2.5, 85, 85, 2.5, 280, 2.5, that'll be H71. All right, 280, now 2.5, 5, 80, 2.5, 7, 90, 2.5, 5, 7, $3, 2.5, now 5, no 7, 8, 10, 12.5, 12.5, 15, but 17.5, 20, 2.5, 320, 2.5, 5, but 27.5, 327.5, 327.5, 325, H22. 7.5, 220, now 5, 220, now 5, money, 5, but 220, now 5, 220, now 5, 225, 225, 220, Troy, 5, 5. Tested open. 7.5, 144, now 5, 144, now 5, 6, 5, money, 5, 44, now 5, 145, 45, 45, 6, 7, 48, 49, 150, 151, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 155, 156, 157, 158, 158, 158, 158, 158, 157, show number 2. Tested open, 280, now 5, money, 5.95, $3, now 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 320, 2.5, 320, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 320, H22. Open. 7 there, $2, what do you got? 124, now 5, 124, now 5, 124, now 5. Open cows, 124, 5, 124, 5, 124, 5, 124, now 5, 124, now 5, 120, now 1, 120, now 1. Money, 1, 2, 3, 4, 124, 124, 5, 125, 6, 27, 127, 27, 27, 28, 128, 127, San Diego. Okay, by the head here, by the head. 625, 600 on the money, 25, 57, divided 700 and a quarter. 7.5, 775, 800, 800 and a quarter, 8 and a quarter, 8 and a half, 875, 875, 900, 900, now a quarter, now a half, 9 and a half, 9 and a half, 9 and a half, 9 and a half, 975. 975, 950, 75, 975, 975, 75, 950 by the head, Russell 2. All right, she got a 5 on her. 7 ham, weigher, 128, 9, $128, $9, $9, 28, 9, money, 9, $9, $9, $9, 9, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, $138, $9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 40, 40, 140, 140, 140, 140, 139, Lone Star. Over there, 7 and 160 now 5. 160 now 5. 5, 5. 165. Money 5. 75. 80. 5. 185. 90. 195. 195. $2. $2. 195. Marty 45. 45 and 44s together. She is open, 7 and 180, now 2. 180, $2 money, 2, 4, 86, 88, 92, 4, 96, 98, $2, $2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 212, 14, 14, 14, 14, 214, 212, show number 8. Steer, 7 hand, 290, now 5, 290, on money 5, $3, now 5, 10. 3 and 10, 7 and a half, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 307 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 312 and a half, 15, 315, 15, 15, 15, 12 and a half, 15, 315, 315, 315, 312 and a half, Troy 6. Seven and a half, 330, now 2.5, 330, now 2, money 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, about 330, but debate 2.5, 330, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 330, Troy, number 6. By the head over there. 275 by the head, 300 and a quarter, 3 and a half, 375, 400, $400, $400, 400 by the head. Now quarter, 400 and a quarter, 400 and a quarter. Now half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 450, 450, 450, 450, 450, 425 by the head. Raining. Sell 2 spots. Okay, you're buying 4 head. By the head, 300, now 25. 325, 50, 75. $400, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 75. 475 by the head. 475, 500 and a quarter, 500 and a quarter, 500 and a quarter, 500 and a quarter, 500 and a quarter half, 5 and a half, 575, 575, 575, 575, 75, 75, 75. 550 by the head, Hobby R2, Hobby R2. Too good. William. 160, now 2.5. 160, now 2.5 high. 2.5 high, 7.5, 72.5. 175, 7.5. 177.5. 175, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5. 177.5. 177, 80. 180, 180, 2.5. 180, 2.5. 182.5. 185, 180, 2.5. Raining. 125, look them over. 125, money 35, 40, 140, 135, 140, now 5, 145, 50, 155, 155, 155, 155, 55, 55, 55, 60, 160, now 5, 165, 55, 160, Javier, 2. Sell 2 big ones. $1.40 now 5. 140 now 5. Money 5. 145.50. 150 now 5. 165. 170. 175 80. 185. 185. 185 90. 190. 190. 185 90. 90 90. 190. 190. 190. Have her if you own her. 190. 185. Javier 2. Nope. Sell her. Sell her. 140 now 5. 140 on the money 5. 150, 55, 160 now 5. 170 now 5. Now 80 now 5. 185, 185, 85, 85, 85, 180. Tom 3. By the head. 200 now 50 now 75. 250, 275. 250, 275 by the head. 275, 300. $300, $300, $300, $300, $275, 3, 300, 300, 300, 300, 275 by the head, Javier 2. One's got a little bump. 130, now 5. 130, now 5. 130 on the money, now 540, now 5. 150, 155, 160, 155, 160, 165, 170, 175, 80. 180, 190, 80, 80, 190, 175, San Diego. All right, by the head. You're buying forehead by the head. 40 by the head, now 50. 40 by the head, 50 on the money, 50. 40, 50 by the head. $40, $50, $50, $50, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, now $100 a head. 110, 120, 120, 130, 140, 130, 140 by the head. 130, 140, 140, 40, 40, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 140, 130 by the head, San Diego. William, 150, now 5, now 60. 160, 5, 170, now 5, 180, 180, 180, 80, 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, 175, Javier 2. By the head. 350 by the head, 75. Money 75, 375, 400 now quarter, 9, 75, 500. 500 and a quarter, 5 and a half, 575, 600. Quarter, 600 and a quarter half. Second half, 75, 675, 7 and a half quarter, 7 and a quarter, 7 and a quarter, 7 and a half. 775, $800, 800 and a quarter, 800 and a quarter half. 875, 875, 900, 900 and a quarter, 9 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 and a quarter. $900 by the head, Russell 2. 7.5, but a $3 now 2.5, $3 now 2.5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 7.5, 20, but a 2.5, but a 5, 327.5, 30, 2.5, 37.5, but a bit of a 340, 2.5, 45, 47.5, 50, but a 350, 350, 2.5, 350, 2.5, 350, 2.5, 350, fry 49, fry 49, Breno Heifer. 220, now 5, 35, 45, 55, but a 65, 275, 80, but a 5, 290, but a 5, but a 95, 295, $3, $3, but a $3, 295, H22. 7 hand, $2, now 5, $2 now 5, money 5, 205, 10, 15, 220, now 5. 225, 220, now 5. At about 5 at a 225, 225, 225, 225, 220, Marty, 45. $190, now 2.5. $190 on the money, 2.5. $192.5, 5. 95, 97.5. $2. $2, 2.5. 2.5. 205, 205, 7.5. 27.5. 10. 210, 212.5. 212.5. 212.5, 15. 15, 15, 17.5. 279, 279, 279, 279, 279, 215. Marty, 45. Hey, Glenn, did you know it's Marty's birthday? Big party when the sale's over. Yeah. That's a choice. You pick what you like out of the pile. 300 by the head now, 25. 325, 53, 25, 50. 75, 400, 400, 400 and a quarter, 4.5, 4 and a quarter, 4.5, 4 and a quarter, 4.5 by the head. 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, 425, 450, 425, 50. That's your choice. 450, 450, 450, 450, 450, 450. 425. Javier, straight Javier. Choice again. 250, 275. 250, 275. 250, 275. 250, 75. $300, $300, $300. Your choice. 300 and a quarter. 3.5. 3 and a quarter, 3.5. 350, 350, 350, 350, 350. Gotcha. 350, 350, 350, 350. 325. How many you want? Okay, let's let it go. Two little ones sell, two little ones. By the head. Two little ones by the head. 250, 275. 250, 275. 250, 75. 300, $300, 275. Now 3, now 3, now 3. 300, now 300. Now quarter. 3 and a quarter, 3.5. 3.5. $350. 375. Now $400. $400. $400. By the head. 400. 400. 375, 494, 494, 375, Javier, straight Javier by the head. Weigh this one. 120, now 5 by the pound. 30, 130, 125, 130, 125, 130, 130, 30, 30, 130, 130, 130, 130, 125, 30, 130, 130, 130, 125 by the pound. Javier 2. All right, just came in this morning. Oh, 23 head of them all together. 370, now 5, 370, on the money, now 5, 375, 375, 80, but about 5, but 90, but about $4, $4, 5, 405, 510, 410, 15, 15, 15, 20, 425, but 30, but 5, but 435, 40, 440, 440, but 5, but 445, 50, but 450, 455, 455, 55, 55, 60, 460, 460, 460, 460, 460, 455, so lease. Just unloaded 34 calves. $4, now 5, $4 now money, now 5, 10, 15, 20, but 425, 30, 5, 45, 455, 65, 475, 80, 80, 475, 80, 80, 85, 85, 85, 85, 485, 485, 485, 85, 85, 85, 480. Ritter. Boys, they're pretty nice right here. 385, now 90, 385, money 90, but about 5, but 95, $4, $4 now 5, 4 and 5, but 10, 4 and 10, $15, 415, 415, 415, 410, 15, 410, 15, 20, 420, 420, 420, 420, 415, now 20, 20, 20, 20, but 420, 420, 415, Troy 4. 7 here, $4, now 5, money 5, $4 now 5, $4 now 5, $4 now 5, $4 now 5, 10, $10, 10 now 15, 415, 415, 15, 20, 420 now 5, 425, 25, 25, 25, 420, Troy 4. 450 now 5, 450 now 5, money 5, 455, 60, 5, 75, 85, 90, 495, 495, $5 now 5, 510, 10, 10, 15, 520, 520, 530, 5, 40, 40, 535 now 40, 40, 40, 540, 540, 535, so lease. 7 here, 390 now 5, 390 on the money now 5, 390, 5, $4, but $4 now 5, $4 now 5, 405, 405, 405, 405, $4, Troy 4. Seven hand, 360 now 5, 360 now 5, money 5, 2.5, 360, 2.5, 7, 17, 370, 2.5, 377 $2.5, 80, 80, 380, 2.5, 85, 85, 87, 90, 390, 2.5, 85, 95, 395, 97, 7, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, 397 $2.5, Troy 4. So one little bit, many more as you want. 370, now 5. On the money, 5, 80, 5, 90, 395, 95, 95, 95, 95, 390, now 5, 95, 95, 95, 390, Troy 5. 7 half, 350, now 5, 352 and 352 5, 355, 285, 5, 5, 5, 7 half, 60, 360, 2 and 5, 5, 5, 7 half, 370, 70, 2 and 370, 2 and 5, 375, 75, 2 and 5, 5, 5, 375, 375, 372 and a half, Troy 5. Look them over here, but a 310, 15, 20, but a 320, 320, money 20, 315, now 20, 317 and a half, 317 and a half, 17 and a half, 317 and a half, 317 and a half, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 315, Troy 6. Three blacks, you're buying 3 blacks, $3 now 5, $3, 5, 10, $10, 10, 10, 3 blacks, 3 5, 7 and a half, 3 7 and a half, 3 7 and a half, 10, 12 and a half, 3 12 and a half, 15, 17 and a half, 3 17 and a half, 20, 2 and a half, 3 22 5, 3 27 and a half, 3 27 and a half, 3 blacks, many more as you want, 3 27 and a half, 3 27 and a half, 3 25, D&D 9. Sell 2 red heifers. 290, 2 and a half, 290, 2 5 7 and a half, now $3, 2 and a half, 5 7 and a half, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 17, 19, 20, 320, 320, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 320, 317 and a half, D&D 26. Seven and a half, 105, 106, 105, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 117, 118, 119, 20, 21, $1, 20, now 1, 121, 120, Tom 1, 7 and a half, 330, now 2 and a half, 330, money, 2 and a half, 330, 2 and a half, 5, 35, 7 and a half, 40, 2 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 350, 2 and a half, 55, 355, 55, 7 and a half, 60, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 70, 2 and a half, 5, 75, 7 and a half, 377 and a half, 375, 549. 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 240, now 2 and a half, now 5, 7 and a half, 55, 65, 75, 85, 90, 2 and a half, 95, 97 and a half, 297 and a half, 295, 7 and a half, $3, $3, $3, 297 and a half, shoat number 8. 135, 140, 135, 140. 135, 140, 135, 140, on the money, 40, 135, 140, 140, 145, 150, 150, 150, 50, 55, 50, 50, 51, 51, 51, 51, 50, 145, Tom, 3. Seller there, $2, now 5, 10. 205, 210, 25, 210, 215, 220, now 5, now 30, 235, 40, 235, 40, 5, 250, 255, 265, 270, 275, 280, 285, 285, 90, 290, 90, 85, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 290, 290, 290, 285, Wilford Wilding. $130, now 2, 130 on the money, now $2, $2, 132, $2, $2, D4, 134, 36, 38, 138, 138, 40, 42, $2, 4, 6, 146, now 8, 148, 150, 150, 52, 152, 4, 52, 46, 6, 8, 158, 160, 162, $2, 160, show number 12, and yard them with the 13s. 12s and 13s together. We got a steer over there, 7 and 150 now 2. By the scale, 2, 4, 6, 8, $60 2. 64, 6, 8, 72, 4, 76, 76. 178, 80, 182, 82, 4, 84, 86, 88, 192, 92, 4, 96, 98, 98, 98, $1, $2, $2, 2, 202, 204, 206, 208, 10, 12, 12, 14, 16, 18, 220, 2, 224, 6, 8, 30, 232, 232, $2, 4, 34, 34, 34, 232, shoat 77. Over there, 150, now 2.5. On the money, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 60, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 180, 2.5, 85, 87.5, 90, 190, 2.5, 195, 95, 195, 190, 2.5, 5, 95, 95, 95, 192 and a half, Simon. Sell a bull over there, 150, now 2.5, now 5, 7.5, 60, 2.5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, 7.5, 80, 80, 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, 177.5, Simon. By the head. 225 by the head, 250 on the money, 50, 225, 250 by the head, 250, 250, 250, 250, 250, 225, 50, 75, now 300, now quarter, now half, 375, 400, 400 and a quarter, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, 75, 500, 500, 500, out about 500, 475 by the head, Tom, 3. $450 for both of them. Now money, 75. Now 500. Now quarter, 5.5. 575. $600. 600 and a quarter. 6.5. 675. 700. Now quarter. Now half. 775. 800. 800 and a quarter. 8 and a quarter. 8 and a quarter. 800 and a quarter. 8 and a half. 8 and a half. 75. 875. 900. 900. 900. Quarter. 9 and a quarter. 9 and a quarter. 9 and a quarter. 900 and a quarter. 900 and a quarter. 900 and a quarter. 900 and a quarter. Now half. 9 and a half. 9 and a half. $950, $50, but $950, $950, $950, $925. Russell, straight Russell. Over there by the head, 300 and a quarter, 300 and a quarter, money, quarter, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half, 375, 400 and a quarter and a half, 4 and a half, 475, $500, 500 and a quarter, 5 and a half, 575, 600, $600, 600 and a quarter, quarter, half, 6 and a half, 75, 675, 700 and a quarter, 7 and a quarter, 7 and a half, 75. 800, 800 and a quarter, 8 and a quarter, 8 and a half, 875, 9, 900 and a quarter, 9 and a quarter, 900 and a quarter, 9 and a quarter, 9 and a quarter, 900 by the head, Russell, 3.
It's all cash.
Thank you, boys. 34 head of them. All the had a 7-way shot. You want some good ones by the head, 775, 800, money, 800. 775, 800 by the head, 800, 800, 800, 800 and a quarter. 8 and a quarter, 8 and a half, 8 and a half. 875, 900, 900 and a quarter, 9 and a quarter, 9 and a half, 9 and a half, 75, $1,000, $1,000. 975, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, 975 by the head, Tom, 3. First round of shots. Sell 2 or more, 320, now 5. 320, now 5. 320 on the money, now 5. 325, 3, that's on 2 of them. 325, 25, 25, about 325. 320, Troy, number 5. Sell a hard one. He wants them all. Thank you. 3 Ed. 3 Ed. Say, boys, I like them here. Sell 3 little ones, 3 little ones, 390, now 5. 390, and money, 5, and 95, 95. 3 little ones, 390, now 5. $4, $4, now 5. 4, 5, 10, $10, $10, $10, 15, 15, 420, 420, 15, 20, 5, 425, 425, 425, 425, 420, Troy, 4. So Charlotte over there. 7.5. Steer 270, 2.5. 270, 25, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 85, 85. 27.5, 87, 90, 2.5, 95, 97.5. $3, $3, 2.5, 5. 305, 305, 305, 305, 302.5. Troy, number 24. $3, 10, 12.5, 310, 12.5, money, 12.5, 15, 370.5, 20, 2.5, 25, 7.5, 330, 32.5, 35, 337.5, 40, 340, 2.5, 40, 2.5, 340, 2.5, 340, Simpson, 35. 7 here, $4, now 5. $4 on the money, now 5. 10, 15, 20, 425. 430, now 35. 40, 5, 50, 455, 455, 450, now 5. 555, 455, 450, Troy 2. 7 here, $3.40, now 5, $3.40, now 5, and the money, 5, and a $3.40, now 5, $3.40, $5.50, and a 5, and a $60, and a 5, and a $70, $3.70, $65, $70, and a $70, $3.65, capital, $35. $7.70, now 5, $2.70 on the money, 5, and a $2.70, now 5, $80, and a $2.85, and a $2.90, and a $5, and a $3, and a $5, and a $10, and a $15, and a $15, $3.10, $3.15, $15, $15, $15, $15, $3.15, $3.10, Troy, 5. 7 here, $3.30, now 5, $3.30 on money, 2.5, $3.35, $37.5, $3.40 with a bit of 2.5, with a bit of $45, with a bit of 7.5, $3.47, $50, $3.50, 2.5, $3.55, with a bit of 5, 7.5, $3.50, 7.5, $60, $3.60, 2.5, 5, with a bit of 7.5, $3.60, 7.5, $3.65, Troy, 5. One little one there, 7.5, $3.60, now 5. You're buying one little one, $3.60 on the money, now 5. $3.65, $70, but about 75, and 80, but 80, $3.85, 85, 90, but 90, 90, 95, but $4, $4, now 5, but 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 4.15, 15, 15, 4.10, Troy, 4. 7, $3.30, now 5 on the money, $5.45, and a bit of $3.50, but a bit of $5, $3.55, $3.65, but a bit of $3.70, with a bit of 2.5, but a bit of $2.5, $2.5, $3.70, $2.5, $3.70, Simpson, 35. Sell big one, big one, big one. $2.80, now 2.5. 2.80, 2.5 on the black. 2.80, now 2.5. 2.80, 2.5, 80, 2.5, 2.80, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.80, but 2.5, 2.80, 2.5. Okay, sell the little one there. Okay, sell the little one, $4, now 5. Money, 5, 10, 15, 20, 4.25, 4.30, 4.30, 4.30, now 5. 435, 35, 35, 35, 430, Troy, 4. Hold it, Jody. Where are we at? $2.16, now 2.5. $2.60, 2.5. $2.60, now 2.5. Money, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. $2.60, 2.5. $2.60, D&D, 5.4. $3.60, now 5, money 5, and $3.60, now 5, 70, now 5, 80, 85, 90, 5, $4, $4, $4, 5, 405, 45, 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 415, 415, 415, 415, 415, 415, 415, 410, Troy, 3. Over there, 7.5, 3.20, now 5, 3.25, 35, 40, bit of 5, bit of 50, bit of 5, bit of 60, bit of 5, bit of 70, bit of 75, bit of 375, 75, 75, 370, fry 49, fry 49. Hey, 7.5, 2.80, now 2.5, 2.80, 2.5, 2.5, 7.5, 90, 2.5, 7.5, $3, 2.5, 5, bit of 305, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 79, 20, bit of 2.5, bit of 5, 327, 30, bit of 330, 330, 330, 327.5, H22, H22. Sell one, big one. Got a steers, 7.5, 320, now 2.5, money, 5, 7.5, 30, 330, 2.5, 35, 37.5, 40, 340, 2.5, bit of 5, bit of 47.5, bit of 350, bit of 50, 2.5, 350, 2.5, 350, Simpson, 35. Sell two blacks. Sell two blacks. Weigh them to you. 450, 460, 450 by the pound. 460 on the money. 60. 470, 470 by the pound. 480, 490. $5 a pound. 505, 505, 10, 510, 510, 510, 10, 10, 10, 10, about a $10 10. 505 a pound. Tom 3, Tom 3. Little bit long underneath. Little long underneath. I hadn't hurt her very bad. 240 where now 50, 240, 250 on money 60, 70, 80, 90. Now $3, now 10, 320, 330, 330, 340, 350. By the pound 60, 370, 360, 370, 70, 70, 70, but 370, 360. Tom 3.
This is some yardbacks that come out at 414, some do not sell. Okay, count them, count them.
But I show I
You want to check the weight on them? Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. 165.
Well, you didn't have anything on these anyway, did you? Straight up around the corner, let me know what you do. There's like 17 head of these kids. Let me know what you do. $340, now $550, but about $5, but a 65, 75, 85, $390, but a $5, but a $4, $4, $395, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $395. Russell number 3. Got a steer. 145, 147, 155, 65, 75, 85, 95, $2, now 5, now 10, now 15, 215, 215. 210, 215, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 20, 220, 220, 215. Kenny, number 3. Is that right? 3. All right, I guess that's it. That's all. Thank everybody. Appreciate you being here. Be back next Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Big Bacon Breader Show. Getting that pool up about there and drain just make it pretty good. Damn sure I do. I agree.